Is the crypto crash finally over? That is the question of the day that everybody is asking, and we're seeing quite a quick rebound to the upside on Bitcoin and altcoins. We have some news coming out that could affect that, but what is the next move for all of you crypto holders? Is it time to buy back in, or is there another dip coming? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more in today's episode, so do not go anywhere. Watch all the way to the end. Make sure to smash that like, hit subscribe, but first, we got to roll the intro. What is going on, boys? It's good to see you again. So I'm going to start with Smay here, down with that bed in the background back there. Do you sleep ever, Smay?
I do. Unfortunately, I do sleep, and that's where I sleep, and you know what I mean? Like, what can you do? What can you do?
Real access into the daily life of Smay. That is where he sleeps.
And at least
I say, here's what I want to say. Because we're joking around here. You're a single young guy. Who would have guessed that bed behind you would be made? Not I, but that's a nice.
I make my bed every single day because that's what they say for Smay.
Well, I'm glad that you have a freshly made bed, and I'm glad that you have a bed in general, Smay. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing absolutely swell. Life is good, and what can you complain about? Nothing. You really can't.
Yeah. By the way, the challenge for today's Super Chat giveaway is we'll give one lucky winner to sleep in that bed. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I'm going to throw it over to my other co-host over here, Tshroom, looking dapper. Have you been on a golf range here recently? You're looking a little tan. You look like a nice
golf range indeed, Tim. Got to get out to the driving range today and hit a couple of golf balls with the driver, the 9-iron. Even got a little crazy with the 4-iron. Yeah, that's right. So I think it's fair to say that I'm doing better than I deserve.
I think that is pretty darn fair to say. It's time real quickly before we get into crypto and talk about some of the bubbles and some of the stuff happening. Again, massive dip over the last couple of days, but we're getting a little bit more of a bounce back up. It's more positive. We got to make our predictions real quickly, though, Smay. I need you back. I need you to come back in here. Yesterday, I swept. I won both the views. I was low, but I won the views and the likes. What is your prediction today for peak concurrent and our likes? What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm going to just say, if I win, do I get a hat?
Yes, if you win, you get a hat, but you haven't won yet.
All right. Well, I know. I'm just saying because I'm going to win today. The answer is we're going to get 1,100 peak concurrent, and I'm going to say that our likes will be 500.
All right. I like it. Tshroom, what about you? What's your predictions today?
1,101 pink concurrent.
Wow.
And 600 likes. All
right. I'm going to go 1,099 viewers. I'm just kidding. I'm feeling... I'm feeling a little low. I'm not meaning to sandwich you here. I am going to go 1,000. I'm going to go 1,000. I'm feeling a little low. I'm feeling bearish today. On a bearish day, I was bullish. On a bullish day, I'm bearish. I'm going to go 1,000, and I'm going to go 4.
No.
I like the 500 likes, but I'm going to go 450.
There's no way I can win because now he's up by 1.
Listen, things can get precise right here. Things can get precise. Either way, Smay, eventually you'll get a hat. I promise you. Okay. Let's take a look at the bubbles. Go ahead and share my screen. Let's look at the bubbles. Nice festive bubbles with a bunch of Santa hats and presents here. But what's even better than the decorations is the massive green bubbles. While there are a couple red ones, there are a couple coins in the top 100 that are technically in loss today. It's not a lot of them. Sea of green, and you'll love to see it. Some of the biggest ones sticking out here. ENA, Virtual, Hype. Well, this one over here. All right. This is for all of our younger audience. Fart coin. Oh, how did this get to be a top 100 coin, let alone be one of the top gainers? That is concerning to me. Move is also up pretty big. Aave, though, we get into the more legitimate projects. Aave, Sui up 12%, Chainlink up 6%. We got some big movers here in the top, even the top like 50 or so. So a good day, a good bounce back overall. And a lot of that has to do when we come over here and look at the charts with the fact that a lot of the levels that we talked about really have been hit. Now, I want to kind of specify here, we literally barely kissed the upper range on Bitcoin. A lot of altcoins went a little lower than we put some levels on. But with Bitcoin, we have been kind of beating the drums now since this top movement that we could have a pullback to the 2 daily smart trail right here in the zone. We had a range between 92,000 and literally like 200 and down here towards 87.7. We've been talking about this. You can't get any closer than you did right there. I mean, we hit it right on the head. By the way, shout out to Lux Algo, the sponsor of today's video. If you guys watch this, do technical analysis. If you've been sitting here saying, wow, how did the bros nail this pullback even when everyone else was bullish? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Lux Algo is a big driver. The buy and sell signals, the smart trails, the order blocks, everything that this has giving you amazing levels of support and resistance. If you're serious about trading, I don't know how you're making it without Lux Algo. This is like a cheat code. Go sign up with the link down below. Really cool. You get 20% off when you use our link. Also, if you join our Discord and let us know your email that you use to sign up, you can get access to our VIP trading group and start trading with some of the best traders around today. Shout out to Lux Algo. Let's get back in here. And here's what we're overall talking about. Massive move to the downside. We hit those targets we were talking about. We're seeing some lower time frames begin to give us some really good signals. We're going to start moving into some of the positivity I'm seeing here on Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at a couple altcoins here later, and then we're going to get into some news and then altcoins more than likely. But I want to tell you what I like, what I'm seeing about right now that I really like. If you look at the oscillators, even on the 4-hour chart, we did have a major bottoming out. We got 100% overextended on the RSI. The MACD right here looks like it wants to cross bullish again for the first time since back here on December 11th, which wasn't even necessarily a major loss. This is the lowest the 4-hour chart has been on the MACD since way back here, August 6th. All right, so I love that. I love how low that is. Let's go back. What was August 6th? What was happening back there? Oh, yeah, that's way back when we had the major bearish scare. This is back during the sideways downward angle. This is when we thought the Asian markets were collapsing, right? Major FUD. Well, guess what? We came back down to those levels again. Why? Because we broke some serious support. There's major FUD out there. We're going to address some of the negativity. People are assuming that some of this negativity is because of rumors of a government shutdown. We will deal with that here in just a couple of minutes. But overall, this is a move that I love seeing on the 4-hour chart. And then you move over into Lux Algo, and we don't quite have a buy signal yet, right? So we still need to see a little more positivity come in. But we do have the green reversals. We have the very low oscillators. We have bullish momentum. We just need to see this money flow pop back to the upside, and we could be cooking with grease. Where we are getting a buy signal is all the way down on the 1-hour chart. Let's go in and look at the Lux Algo oscillator here. We had the green reversals, we had bullish divergence, we had bullish momentum, and that money flow, even though it's flowed down a little bit currently, that was a positive move right there. So that's our trigger to move back to the upside. It has a target at the moment. We could come back here. We haven't quite hit the 1-hour smart trail yet. 98,000 on the low end. What I'm watching, though, is this is going to be as we start to semi-transition from the good news into the semi-bad news. We're watching this smart trail. We're watching the take profit on the 1-hour chart and a trend line of resistance going back to the all-time highs that we need to get above. Look at how we have been trailing to the downside. In fact, anyone who's in our ultimate memberships who's taking the Bros Academy right now where we're teaching these formations, we actually just talked about broadening wedges today. This is a descending or falling broadening wedge. These are bullish formations. This is actually very good news, but we do need to see a breakout above this upper red line. And again, when I bring on some other indicators, there's a lot of resistance in that area. But if we can do that, I guarantee you we'll trigger a 4-hour sell signal or buy signal, in which case we start talking about 102. This will start triggering up into the 8-hour and the 12-hour. And all of a sudden, we're moving to the upside with a lot of confidence. Last thing I want to say that I love about what's happening right now, and then I'm going to move into kind of a realistic take. Let's cool down before we get too hot and heavy. If you guys know anything about volume and how volume can be kind of integral in manipulation, a lot of times high volume can mark significant levels of reversal, whether you're talking about a resistance level and we need to cool off to the downside, or whether you're talking about a major level of support and you want to go to the upside. You always want to keep an eye on when you have major levels of volume on a reversal of some kind. And something I'm watching trigger right here. Notice here on the 1 hour chart, when we reversed, when we topped out, we had peaks of volume here at this top, peaks in volume here at this top. Notice when we actually topped out, very minimal volume came into play. That was a very good sign at the time that was going to be the top. Why? Because low volume shows a lack of interest, both buying and selling, and is oftentimes one of the tools that the composite man, the manipulators, use as their indicator to say, all right, that's the time to reverse. So in this case, we're moving to the upside. We get that low volume top, boom. Great excuse to go ahead and sell off and start heading to the downside. Well, we came back down here and we got some high volume on this bottom. We got some high volume on this bottom. But even though we've seen a slight increase, despite the fact that we're lower, the volume really is nothing to talk about here. So this is getting me potential optimism, which is my segue into the question, how should we feel right now about the markets? Could we go lower? I'll show you some altcoins and look at some other things later, but could Bitcoin go lower? Absolutely, it could go lower. In fact, again, we just hit the top range here, the 92,000. We really still have 87 on the cards, but I'm transitioning now. We have been bearish here for weeks. We've been talking about a 15 to 20% pullback now. But with this now officially being a 15% pullback, ladies and gentlemen, with this hitting support and having several things on lower time frames and volume-wise telling us that this could be a potential bottom, I am transitioning from being short-term bearish. I've always been long-term bullish, but short-term bearish into cautiously optimistic. Some people hate that. Some people want me to just declare the bottom is in, we're good to go. I'm not ready to do that. Until we break this trend line, until we make a move above this red line, there is a chance. There's a chance out there that what we end up doing is reversing here. Oop, if I can grab the tool correctly. Reversing here, coming back down, hitting the support line level, and then making a bigger move to the upside. Right? So cautiously optimistic says, I'm waiting in anticipation for the next big breakout. What happens when we revisit? It's easier to see on this 1 hour chart. What happens when we revisit this descending level of resistance? Do we bounce once again? Do we see low volume up into the line and then a reversal to come back to the downside with the spike coming on the bearish candle? All of a sudden now I'm convinced we're going down below 90,000. But if we can make volume increase as we break this red line and go to the upside, all of a sudden, I do believe this dip looks to be over and we should have a correction to the upside. Cautious optimism. There's a lot that can still play out here. Continue to watch the charts. But I will admit there are a lot of things about this big pullback that has happened recently that gives us signs of success, signs of excitement. You're going to look here. Historically, if we do rally, we're going to have a massive bullish candle with a big wick to the downside and a small candle body. This would be like a V bottom. I told you guys that after the dip was over, my anticipation is we're not going to dabble lower. We're going to go down to how low we want to go and we're going to quickly bounce back up. Well, right now we've done that. The question is, can we sustain this bullish movement or do we return to the downside? But there's a lot of things I'm looking at right now that looks very, very good about a potential bottom being in. So that is why we have transitioned here from being bearish to cautiously optimistic. Before we transition and go into some news here, make sure to smash that like, hit subscribe. We got 2 super chats in here. Smay needs a hat, says Kankles89. I agree he does. So tell him to win a prediction here. Crypto Dave said, you guys have been killing it all year. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Crypto Dave. Shout out for you guys. You know, that's 2 super chats there. I made a goal. You know, there's a new thing in YouTube. You make a goal. I might have made it too high. What I want to start doing, we have a serious giveaway today. If we get 10 super chats of $5 or more, so if you want to give like $20, just give like 4 super chats. What we're going to do today is if we get the 5 or the 10 super chats of $5 or more, we will give one lucky winner a month's free access to our VIP trading group over in our Discord. So get those super chats rolling. We're going to do a giveaway. If you guys want to help support somebody else, give a super chat. And then at the end, we'll get an opportunity to give that away. But with that said, I'm going to throw it over to my main man, Tshroom, who's got a lot of news to break down for us today, kind of continuing that cautious optimism. I think there's a little bit of concern. We got to deal with some FUD, but there's a lot of reasons to be cautiously optimistic right now. What do you have for us, Tshroom?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is going to be the bond market. If you go over to my screen really quickly, you can see that the 10-year yields are actually pushing. They got up as high yesterday. They got up as high as 4.6%, and now they are starting to correct and come down. What does this tells me? This tells me that money is not rotating into bonds at the 5-year or 10-year time frame. They are rotating into fixed income at the 3-month or 6th month, right? So those yields are coming down. In summary, you want money to stay on the sidelines right now at best, right? Because obviously equities just sold off with the indexes. The S&P's down quite a bit, but it's having a recovery. Bitcoin clearly, as we just saw, has sold off and is starting to maybe have found a bottom, maybe not. But what we don't want to see is that the 10-year really start to come back down and return to levels back here that we haven't seen, like back in the 3 handles, right? That we haven't seen back since like mid-September. So the bond market is telling us that money is not running for the hills, right? It's not scared. It is going into the shorter dated bonds, right? Potentially forecasting that the next 3 months to 6 months could be where you do want to be in fixed income. But over the 5-year and 10-year span, it is not wanting to lock into fixed income. All right, so that's generally pretty bullish. Let's get into this headline. This was CZ predicting it extremely early, Tim. Very interesting. Waiting for the new headline. Bitcoin crashes from 101,000 to 85,000. Save the tweet. Tim, you saved it.
Look at the date. Look at the date of that tweet.
Is really the big thing here. It's December 17th. Okay, a couple days ago? No. December 17th, 2020. Yeah. Tim, unpack this one for me. How could he have been so close with this prediction?
The truth is we don't know exactly what caused him to say this. Obviously, back in 2020, we hadn't even had the bull market of 2021 yet. Was he expecting that to be the case in 2021? I don't know. But I think it's very interesting. I mean, deal with that information what you want, but it's very interesting that he predicted a range. If you guys look at a 101 to 85% or 85K pullback, that's roughly 15%. A little bit over, but roughly 15%. As we just said, go back to my screen. What have we just witnessed right here as we eclipsed 100,000 for the first time? We have just witnessed a pullback of 15%, and the media going nuts with crypto has crashed. And what he's kind of getting at, let's make sure we're on the same page here. What he's getting at is saying, wait for us to eclipse 100,000 barely, right? And then have a 15% pullback and people be convinced that that was the top and it's all over, but only for the charts to bounce and go back to the upside. If you read the context of what he's trying to get at, he's predicting that people would get bearish at this point, flip, and then go to the downside. Only the markets would go to the upside and retail be washed out. We'll have to wait and see. Again, this is something that will look a little better maybe in a couple of weeks if we are back up in a new all-time highs. But I think it's very interesting that more than 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, he made a prediction about headlines misleading the people in a very significantly close price level to what we're currently going through. I think that's very interesting. I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to put it on the show. Real quickly before we continue, Tshroom, got some super chats in here. Some messages, some not. Falco said, do the thing or it gets the hose. I don't know if that's a reference. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the $5 there, Falco. Swimming in the data, just wanted to help some people out. No messages here. Says 133, I guess is the messages there. 1-3. And just want to give $5 3 different times. So big shout out to Swimming in the Data. Ordinal Revolution says, love when you guys are bullish. I do too. I love being bullish as well. 5 more. Let's go. We are 6 out of 10. We probably set the goal too low, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. Listen, more than likely, unless this momentum stops, we're going to be giving somebody a month's free access to our VIP trading group over in our Discord. But you got to stick around to the very end. We will decide who the winner is at the end of the show. So do not go anywhere if you want to get that free access. Tisha, I'm going to send it back over to you because I know we got a lot more news to cover here today.
That's right. All right, we're going to have our salad before we get to our steak because there's bullish news, bros. Make no mistake. But we're going to get through the bearish facts of it all. Jumping over to my screen, Smay, we actually had our record level of ETF outflows yesterday. This printed at 6 p.m. And these are the outflows. And, that is a record, right? So, it's something to keep in mind. The ETFs did get a sell-off yesterday. They net sold at a record level. Okay, moving along here. This is why the pain is possibly not over. Some fundamental reasons why. Total notional value refers to the combined value of all the underlying assets that a set of options contracts controls. Some estimates put it as high as 6.6 trillion today. These are the expiries. Most of these options will expire worthless, but tons of volatility should be expected. So the fun is not over here. The discount is not over, more than likely, at least volatility-wise. Options, again, referencing 6.6 trillion of equities expire on the 20th of December, which is today. This is going to affect equities, specifically. This is where the expiries are targeted from. However, what happens in the equities market sometimes can swim over to crypto for sure. The interesting news on this, though, is that equities, if I jump up over to the S&P 500 and even look at the Qs, they've had some shellacking days back here from those highs, got down as low as 5% in just 3 daily candles. That's 5.5%. That's pretty aggressive downside for equities, but they have already retraced back up 2.3% of that. So, the market is saying, again, going back to the, bringing in what we know, the data from the bond market is that money is saying, hey, we want to not go into fixed income just yet. We want to try our luck buying the bottom here on risk, stay in a risk position. And if that doesn't pay off, then we'll switch into equities. But the short dated bonds are staying the same. They're not really selling off or getting bought. And then the 10-year yields are actually selling off too. So people are saying, I'm actually going to get out of fixed income, going to get out of treasuries and just go into cash. And so, what comes next is, where does all that cash get allocated to? Does it buy the bottom? And it's just waiting for the bottom, really. So,
question for you, Tshroom.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you know this based on what you just showed, the chart you showed. The options expiry, right? These happened on Fridays. This is a big one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you know the levels, the key levels where if we're above this level, we're bullish, people stay in. If we're below this level, X amount of dollars, X amount of positions get liquidated. Do you know those levels per chance?
No, I do not. No, I think it's more time-based, where it's just a big tranche of probably in-the-money contracts. If they are reach a certain expiration date, either they'll expire worthless or they'll get exercised. And, that's just when a lot of rebalancing and shuffling happens. Do you need to understand expiries? Do you need to, have your head around this perfectly to be able to be successful in trading and investing? It helps, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we endeavor to do, is try to bring you the information and the data, at least when it's happening. But you don't need to feel like you need to understand this 100%. The reality is just expect more volatility, because a bunch of deadlines essentially are being hit today. And, luckily the indexes over on the equity side are getting a bid. So that bodes well. We'll get into some other things here that don't bode as well, but
let me explain my question, though. The reason why I'm asking, and we don't know the number, but the reason why I'm asking is that people need to be aware that when you get to an options expiry day and the days leading up to the options expiry day, I want to show the S&P 500 just as an example. But when you have an option, right, let's just pretend the option expiry was sitting somewhere here in the range on the S&P 500 between 5,800 and 5,900, right? Let's just pretend this was the range. It was somewhere in here. It's not abnormal when you're really high above it a couple of days before to make things interesting, right? In the stock market and in the crypto and investing world, if you're just going to smash options expiries, what was even the point? They always like to make things semi-interesting. So I've found more often than not, when you're dramatically over the options expiry, you get a big correction down towards it, maybe a little bit below it. Maybe this option expiry is down here. But my point overall is, because they're going to want to make things interesting. If you're sitting here and you're holding the S&P 500 for an options expiry and you're confidently above it, again, let's pretend it's 5,800, give or take. You're just sitting here a couple of days ago saying, oh, we're good. I'm just going to keep on holding. But then all of a sudden you see this crash and you start to get cold feet and you want to sell. Well, guess who's going to sit there to buy that option expiry? The same people that are manipulating the price down to scare you, to convince you to sell, because they're anticipating another big move to the upside. You also could see that happen. Let's say the world was reversed here and the option expiry was higher. Sometimes if you're dramatically below it and people are considering selling and they do sell, they'll rise it up to the option expiry, making people buy really quickly and freak out, only to then fall short, and there's a massive liquidation and people lose out. So I want to make sure it's clear there. The reason why I'm clarifying this is because sometimes these are moves. When you see these high levels of liquidations like this, you can see some manipulation come into play to confuse the market before a rebound happens. So I can't guarantee that's what's happening because, again, I don't know where the options expiries are in the stock market, but we've seen that happen time and time again in Bitcoin and Ethereum and others. Want to caution people to be wary of that kind of stuff. We got some more super chats that just came in here, Tshroom. We have more news, or is that wrapping up the news? No, we have more because I know there's a topic we haven't discussed yet. Yeah, we have a good amount left. All right, Talish Bearmore. By the way, the reference earlier was the Silencing of the Lambs. I have not watched the Silencing of the Lambs in a while. The super chat earlier where he talks about if you, do the thing against the hose. Yeah, the silence.
Yeah. Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, it's been so long I forgot the title of it. But yeah, all right. Anyway, that's my education of the day. I forgot to remember that movie. Hey, what's up, Horizon? What's up with Horizon? It just got Grayscale ETF. Talish, I have no idea. I don't know what Horizon is, but that sounds cool.
Is that a video game? I'm pretty sure it's a video game.
No idea.
All right.
Game got a Grayscale. Well, no, we got more. Don't try to rush us away from the super chats. These are precious super chats here, Tshroom. We got another one from Swimming in the Data that says, need that access, super chat, super fan. Wow, that's a lot from some Swimming in the Data. Matt C says, let's go, fam. I think, what is that? Do we need one more? We're 9 out of 10 at the moment. No, one more, and we're going to be giving away. I feel pretty certain we're going to be giving that away at some point here at the end of the show, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Make sure everybody, right now, Smay, you're almost in the lead on the views. I saw 142 in concurrent. The likes are at 261, so you need to get some more likes in here. We get the likes up. We get the concurrent up a little bit more, and maybe Smay has a chance to get a hat here today. But Tshroom, didn't mean to interrupt you, but we did have those super chats. Let's go ahead and get back into the news. We had big, important topics to discuss here.
All right. Yeah. So getting into the bullish news, right? Now we've had our salad. Let's eat our steak. There's some bullish news here. Starting off with the ranks of top assets by market cap. Bitcoin is holding strong here above Saudi Aramco in still pretty comfortably in that 7 slot. We may have actually dipped down during the dip, but still $1.9 trillion asset is Bitcoin. Only a couple of hop skips and a jump away from that number 2 spot. Number 1 spot is going to be a little bit later in the cycle at 17 trillion. But I think we can hop, skip, and jump over Apple at number 2 pretty quickly. So that's bullish. These are the types of headlines that are getting us into the top 10 assets. Total, France, 5th largest bank. This is a $863 billion bank. That's how much they're managing. This is BPCE Group to launch Bitcoin and crypto purchases from its 35 million customers in 2025. Big bullish news. Expanding adoption. Let us know. Do you know of or do you use BPCE Group for your business or personal? We'd love to know. All right, moving along here. The SEC has approved combined spot-based Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs from asset manager Hashdex and Franklin Templeton. Pretty cool. The approvals cover the Hashdex NASDAQ Crypto Index US ETF and the Franklin Templeton Crypto Index ETF. And they've both got Bitcoin and ETF. And I guess they're both 80-20 average weight, but will give room for future additions. So if you're looking to get exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum, but you only want to buy one ETF, these are going to be your ETF providers. Hashdex and Franklin Templeton are making it happen for you. Of course, why we care is because there's going to be some folks who want to buy this and nothing else, and that's going to expand liquidity into crypto and specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum there. Ethereum, still very, very underbought compared to how much liquidity has access to it. That's definitely not one that I'm selling anytime soon. That's our bullish news. But Tim, we've got to get into this government shutdown. It is a pretty big story. We have a little bit of consolation, but let me just say on the front end, this is kind of a like anybody's guess type of thing, because the U.S. government is a real government and it can shut down. If it shut down, presumably bad things will happen. But they've cried wolf so many times in the past. Let's get into the details of what we do know about this. First of all, going to my screen, the Donald J. Trump, soon to be president, said if there is going to be a shutdown of the government, let it begin now under the Biden administration, not after January 20th, his inauguration date. This is a Biden problem to solve, but if Republicans can solve it, they will. So Donald Trump saying, let's get this over with, kind of calling their bluff a bit. Well, Jim Cramer actually coming in, kind of hitting the brakes, maybe softening the blow a little bit. He says, Jim Cramer, you always had to buy the fear, not sell it. This is what he tweeted. I have studied every faux shutdown since the time of Bill Clinton, and you always had to buy the fear, not sell it. So Jim Cramer, known for making inverse statements. Tim, do you think that he's speaking inversely here, or do you think he's speaking right side up? What are your thoughts?
Broken clocks are right twice a day. Jim Cramer doesn't get literally everything wrong. He just gets the majority of things wrong here. But what he's actually getting at historically is very true. You buy the fear here. Let me start off, before we even show any data here, let's just think about this critically, especially the current government. I think Trump kind of puts this well. The current administration, the current people operating in Washington, D.C. this afternoon, you think the markets would be bearish because they have to shut down and they're not doing anything and making any big decisions? I think that's actually very bullish, just from even a standpoint of just fundamentally those people don't make key decisions for a little minute. But historically, let's look at just the last 3 shutdowns, right? So like you said, Tshroom, we've heard threats of this even more recently, but I want to take a look at the last 3 times we've actually had the government shut down. It was back here in December of 2018, January of 2018. That's crazy. Twice in the same year. And then the other one before that, 2013. And I could keep going on, but I wanted to show this just to make sure people were aware of the details here. Clearly, December 2018, the government shutdown almost marked the bottom of the S&P 500's pullback perfectly. The January one kind of had a trigger. It marked the top. Now, remember, January 2018, that's when Bitcoin topped out, Ethereum topped out. That was a major top in markets all the way around. But even when it's all said and done, yeah, we had a pullback here in the stock market, but nothing that crazy. We only pulled back for a couple weeks, like 2 weeks, and then we started ranging sideways and to the upside. Whereas this other one, major bottom that would go on to consistently move to the upside. And then same thing, you go back to the one before that back in October of 2013. It marked a bottom. We would rally afterwards. So anyone who's out there spreading information that the government shutdown is going to cause a collapse, I disagree with that. I disagree with that take, especially after the dip we've had here last couple of days. I think historically, and then you go back to, it doesn't make me feel good agreeing with Jim Cramer, but like I said, broken clocks are right twice a day. I think Jim Cramer's onto it. I think that tweet that he gave out is actually historically accurate, and it's like, hey, more often than not, government shutdowns have actually proven to maybe be like sell the rumor by the news events, where everyone freaks out about that in anticipation, but all of a sudden it comes and then everything goes back to the upside. I like what Jamula says here. He says it's priced in. That's another good way to kind of think about it. Priced in possibly is the right way to think about it, but I'm not freaking out whatsoever. In fact, borderline, I say this cheek and tongue because tongue in cheek. I said that backwards. Tongue in cheek because there are people who would be negatively affected by it, and I don't celebrate anyone having a rough day, but I kind of want to be in support of the government shutting down until January 20th. I don't know about you. That's kind of my thoughts. But I have this inkling, Tshroom, I don't know about you. I'll throw it to you after this. I have this inkling in the 11th hour, they're going to figure it out. They're going to do something. The government's not going to shut down. But that's where I am. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they've cried wolf on this so many times. It's just, what's really surprising to me is how much presumably retail, but how much weak hands got into not just crypto, but also the equity markets, for there to be such a precipitous pull down so quickly. Because, we've seen it so many times, the government shutdown, it not really resulting in anything too negative to stock market. If you're a government vendor, like if your primary business operations is serving the government, which is a lot, that is a large percentage of GDP. Your stock could potentially be hurt by this, but it's not going to go on forever, right? The real risk with government shutdowns is not that they happen; it's that they drag on for long periods of time, and government contractors start to really feel the pain. People also that work for the government that may be getting their paycheck delayed or maybe not getting paid because they're not working. That also is painful, but that usually isn't as much of an impact to the U.S. stock market. So again, all of this it has to be said is just correlated to crypto, because if you think about it critically, crypto, specifically Bitcoin, is the antidote to the government's inefficiency and the government's inability to work properly and having to threaten shutdown in order to pass bills, to just put it all on the line, make the stakes really high. It's a silly way of getting things done that are really, really important. And crypto can't solve all of it, but crypto can solve a lot of it. And so that's why we're here every day. We believe in the tech and its impact on humanity, not just its impact on our portfolios. But it doesn't stop there, Tim, because there's actually a poly market spread. If you go to my screen here, Smay, there's a poly market spread currently saying 37% chance of will there be a U.S. government shutdown. So 37% saying yes.
Look at where it was. It was, yes. Yeah, 75% this morning. Yeah.
It was at 75%. So the fact that there's been a big pullback in that spread kind of tells me that there's a lot of uncertainty, and this is volatility on a spread, and that volatility is going to the root of it is uncertainty. The market doesn't really know. There's not a lot of people that really know where this levels off, and then if it finds a nice sideways movement above 50, that's kind of beginning to give the market an idea of the directionality of this government shutdown. But I think I'm not super worried about it at this point. I don't think it's going to be, anything but a opportunity to buy lower.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one next week, Monday. While I will not be here, Tshroom will be here for a live show. So if the government shut down, he'll be celebrating with you guys for Christmas. Any other news before we transition back into some technical analysis? By the way, we definitely got well more than 10 super chats. There's something about it. It was registering 499s is not counting. We saw them. We counted. Someone is going to be given free membership for a month to the VIP trading group. You got to wait till the end of the show, though. We're not going to announce the winner till the end. Tshroom, any more news before we keep going?
I did get an answer through Grok about the questions you were asking. So about the expiration prices, the strike prices. So not to get back into that because it's a little bit heady, a little bit in the weeds, but significant call option open interest was observed at strike price above 6,060, particularly above 6,075. This suggests that at that time, market participants were betting on a protecting against the S&P 500 moving above those levels. So again, doesn't provide a ton of clarity of whether you should buy or sell Bitcoin or Chainlink or Cardano or whatever. It just kind of goes to show that at a point in time, there's a big shift, a big movement that could result in a big scary moment. But it's really just an opportunity for financial media to scare off weak hands.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's get in it. Let's look at some altcoin charts. If you guys are excited about altcoins, smash the like button. What are we at? 347? Not there yet. We got to get more likes in there than 347. 1,100 people, almost 1,200 people, and only 347 likes. You guys got to smash that like button. Do better than that. Let's start off with one of the biggest things. As we talk about altcoins, you can't talk about altcoins and not talk about the altcoin season debacle. Did it start? Has it started? Is it over? Is it, what is the deal here? Well, the number one chart to kind of talk about what's going on there, the Bitcoin Dominance Chart is over on my screen here, Smay. And you're going to see we made a massive rally here today, back up towards 60%. Now, I will say, we didn't quite get there. The high that's registering is 59.92%, right? We didn't quite get there. And you can see increased volume has come in as well on this candle. kind of signifying there was a massive sell-off there as well. People transitioning back into, after flooding into Bitcoin the last couple of days, or rather than that, let's say they're not flooding because everything's dropping, while people were leaving their altcoin positions faster than their Bitcoin position. As we bounced back, the alts have bounced back greater than Bitcoin. That being said, on the short time frame, if I were to go to the 4-hour chart, this is clearly still a bullish trend here, right? Ever since we pulled back down below 55%, we've been setting higher highs and higher lows. If we want to continue the narrative or the chance that altcoin season has started and is continuing to happen, I really want to see us break this trend here. Let's get back below 57, 58 quickly, and then we can talk about this being, if we go back up the daily chart, simply a lower high in a flip reversal, right? If we were to break above 61, then that's a continuation of higher highs and higher lows. But if we set this lower high right here and then continue the downside and we start to go back down towards 54, 53%, all of a sudden we'll look back on this in history and say, yeah, it was a little tipsy-turvy market. It was very confusing, but ultimately this was simply a lower high before a bigger correction on the Bitcoin Dominance Chart. So we're going to continue to monitor this over the next couple of weeks. But like I said, what this does tell us is after a mad rally, altcoins are rebounding better than Bitcoin is today. And let's take a look at some of those coins that are rebounding quite well right now. Let's start off with Chainlink. Now, Chainlink went a little lower than what we talked about. We said that 19 was on the table. I don't know why that says 20 right there. We did have wicks down here. Oh, to 20, almost on that. Well, never mind. I was about to say we talked about $20 being right there. We talked about 20 to 22 being the level we would come back down to. Sure enough, that's exactly what we had happen. If you're wondering why is that, well, go back over to that 2 daily smart trail, and the daily smart trail is where we had levels higher end 22, lower end on the daily, the 2 daily, the overlap with the double bottoms back here from December 10th. We talked about $20 being on the table. So that is exactly what's happened with Chainlink. We fell back down those levels. Hopefully, if you guys are Chainlink believers, you bought some of that dip. Let's take a look at how things are responding at the moment. Again, we had those sell signals. We're about to get a bearish cross here, but this on a 2 daily chart can be quite a lagging indicator with the MACD. Hitting that smart trail is a major, major win for Chainlink. How is the 4-hour responding right now? You'll see here, they've got 100% overbought on the RSI. The MACD on the 4-hour chart does look like it wants to cross bullish once again. Similar to Bitcoin, we talked about this earlier. Lowest MACD 4-hour chart since when? Wow, a while. In fact, I can't scroll back all of it. There we go. The last time that we saw the 4-hour MACD get this low, you have to go back all the way to January 22nd of 2022. All right, we have not been this low on the 4-hour MACD in quite a while. That's saying something. We're clearly making a strong rebound here today. Luxago oscillator, do we have a buy signal? Not necessarily yet. That money flow still flowing negatively, but we do have a lot of reversals, a lot of bullish divergence, and now some bullish momentum back in play. Look for this money flow to flow back to the upside. And then all of a sudden, we're looking for movements back to the range of roughly $25 at first. As that floods up, and we get some buy signals on the 6-hour, then the 8-hour, then the 12-hour, that resistance level will increase. But I bet you we are seeing a buy signal down here lower on the 1-hour, and I am right. We got that buy signal, green reversal, bullish momentum, and that positive money flow. Only problem is that we are currently running into that smart trail target as we are speaking right now, last 2 hours. So is a reversal coming in? We're going to have to continue to watch this. Again, if you missed earlier in the show, we have flipped from being short-term bearish into short-term cautiously optimistic. Big V bottoms have happened, big reversals. The targets that we put on charts days ago have all been hit. Altcoins and Bitcoin are overextended to the downside, and we're watching the slow transition as all these time frames up here, the 2 daily, the daily, all turned bearish. We watched their targets get hit, and now the lower time frames, like the 15-minute, the 1-hour, they're all flipping bullish. We're heading back to the upside. This could be a sign that Chainlink is on its way, but I would be cautious right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Chainlink get a small reversal right in here, maybe pull back down towards 22 or so before we continue the upside, waiting on this 4-hour chart to turn bullish itself. That's what we're watching for here on Chainlink. Another thing I'll keep an eye on and tell people to watch out for, we need to make sure that we get a breaking of this trend line here. Let me turn some Luxago stuff off. In fact, there's really not an established trend line there. we need to probably see a breaking to feel confident of this trend here. I'll go ahead and put that one there. That is a pretty severe movement there. What we have going on is if this were, play this with me in your mind, if we stay on this line and start to keel over and we move to the downside, I'm not going to say that we have to go much lower, but all of a sudden we put ourselves in a bad situation where we start to have the look of a head and shoulders pattern. That's not what we want to see develop here. Let's get a nice bullish breakout on Chainlink, and then we'll feel a lot better about this trend line being broken, and we can make bigger moves to the upside. Last thing I want to take a look at before I move, there we go. We got some liquidations in this chart. We really need to break above these liquidations. I really would love to see us climb back up to these new highs for the cycle of $31. But keep an eye on these liquidations right in here. You could see a little bit of a move to the upside with a fake out there and then a move to the downside. So, again, cautious optimism. There's room to the upside. There's a lot of bottom signals here, but there are still, I guess the best, let me rephrase what I'm going to say. We're not out of the woods yet. That's the best way to put it there. We got to get a lot higher before we can say we're out of the woods. Let's move on to some other coins, though, having some good breakouts. I'm going to try to move a little faster here. Cardano. This one I'll actually say went lower than expectation, right? We talked about the potential a couple weeks ago of a move down towards 90, potentially 81 cents. This one actually went all the way down to 76 cents. It actually went to a 3-daily smart trail. But again, massively overextended. If I were to come down here towards the 4-hour chart, very good bounce back up at the moment. This one, unlike Bitcoin and Chainlink, did get a 4-hour buy signal. You can see the bullish convergence there on the MACD, but check it out. Green reversals, bullish momentum, positive money flow. We're on our way back up right now to wrestle with this smart trail somewhere back up in the range of $1. But what we want to see is that buy signal. I know it's already on the 1-hour because it's lower. I want to see this start to trickle, and I want to start seeing it happen on the 8-hour. We're very close here on the 8-hour. We have the green reversal, bullish momentum, and that money flows close. I want to see that 8-hour trickle into the 12-hour. I want to see the 12-hour trickle into the daily, and all of a sudden, we have a lot higher to go here. Once again, if you're wondering what are these indicators, these buy signals that Tim is using to make all of these calls, this is Lux Algo. Check out the link below. When you purchase it with our link, you get 20% off, and you also have the opportunity, if you join our Discord, to join our VIP trading group for free just because you purchase Lux Algo with our link. Go check that out. Another one I want to take a look at that's bounced back semi here today. It's not as much as the others, but it is on the thumbnail. We haven't done a big update on it just yet. AVAX is up here. This is another one that dropped lower than we first expected. We talked about on the daily chart a while ago, we could have stopped here at 44. Well, that didn't stop right there. The 2-daily chart, we talked about a move possibly as low as 38. We kept going on there. And in fact, the 3-daily chart, we actually, while we are still defending it, we wicked below the 3-daily chart smart trail. But you know what that means? I bet you we're going to find a buy signal down here on the 4-hour chart. Sure enough, we are. Green reversals, bullish momentum, positive money flow. That, ladies and gentlemen, is good. That we should be making a move back up towards 43. Can we get a buy signal up on the 8-hour? We're very close, but we're not quite there. But that's where we're in phase right now. We've hit a lot of major targets to the downside. We've had massive withdrawals, but it's time for that V bottom to start to show itself off. It's time to make moves back to the upside. But again, with a lot of these coins, look for major trend lines of falling resistance. Let's break them. Let's break some major resistance. Let's start making some big volume moves back to the upside. Let's show that the bullish strength is back, and all of a sudden, we'll have an amazing bull market right around the corner. That's going to wrap up the planned TA here for our altcoins. We might have time for one or two here in just a second, but let's start off here. Want to give it the time. Stick around because we have not announced the giveaway for our month of free access to our month-long membership. Also, Crux, are you in chat? It's Friday, isn't it? So we got to do a giveaway for our members as well. We have a giveaway for members. All right, good. All right, so we're going to do those here in just a couple minutes. First of all, though, we are going to do the factoid of the day with Smay once again. Now, this doesn't matter because this is another giveaway. We've already won 3 of them this week, but this is for kicks and giggles. And I'll tell you this, Smay. This one, you have another opportunity of getting a hat. If you and the elf fool me and Tshroom on this question, you'll earn yourself a hat.
Well, Tim, I think I get a hat anyway because technically,
we're trying to make things interesting.
Technically, even though the peak concurrent got to like 1,200, the likes, it's a combo between closest that and likes, and I might get almost spot on the likes.
Well, tell them to smash the like button because it's closer to my like prediction.
I said 500.
I said 450.
Everybody, smash like. Hurry up. Anyways, yes, get me 500 likes. But without further ado, let's go ahead. And I heard there's a special guest waiting for us in the Factoid chamber. Okay. There he is.
Oh,
the elf is here.
Yo.
I let him out of the cage, and here he is. He decided to join us. Elf guy, what's up? But anyways, let's go ahead and read this question of the day for our faithful friends here. Which DeFi protocol is best known for its automated market marker AMM model? A. AVE.
Market maker.
Automated market maker AMM model. A. AVE. B. Uniswap. C. MakerDAO. Or D. Compound.
See, Crux would know the answer to this question, and I'll start off this. Tshroom, I'm thinking C is an that's just thrown in there to confuse you. You would think, oh, it's right in the name, but obviously, I'm thinking about even though I'm not the fundamental expert on these coins, I think any of these could be the ones that are right. But I don't know what I'm gonna go with here. So I might just diversify from your pick, Tshroom. What are you thinking right now?
Well, Uniswap is a DEX. Yeah. Aave, I know, is definitely DeFi. This is a good one.
Model.
I know Compound is also DeFi as well. MakerDAO is like a whole. That's the organization behind Maker, which is the blockchain. So
just to know, I'm leaning D, but I want to hear what you say.
Yeah, that's also where I'm leaning. Because I'm pretty sure A is more of a staking.
Do you want to double up and just give Smay an extra chance here to win this hat?
Sure. Yeah, let's go.
We're gonna double up on D here, Smay.
Very well. All righty. Without further ado,
you got it right based on that response.
Y'all didn't get it right against me.
You got it right. All right. Smay gets a hat.
Thanks, Elf.
Smay gets a hat.
Thanks, Elf.
There we go.
Thanks, Elf.
I'm gonna have to look into this one.
Yeah.
Look into this one. You're trying to fact check me.
Good tricky question here.
The elf came up with it.
Let's do one more Q&A technical analysis, and then we have some giveaways to go through. And again, if you want to win a month long, if you want to win $50 for our getting three of the factoids right this week, stick around. You can be chosen. If you want to win a free month over into our VIP trading group, stick around. And also we had to do our giveaway for our group as well. But what do we want to take a look at? I see a lot of people saying ONDO. I want to take a look at ONDO as well. So I'm going to vote that way as well. Let's take a look at ONDO and see what's happening here. I would say Tshroom because Tshroom, I'm used to him doing it. ONDO getting a nice little bounce back here today after having a massive fall. This one, I think it's another one. It went lower than expectation. This one didn't. We told you, well, you know what? I'm going to be very clear here. Even though it only hit the 2-daily smart trail, this was one of the ones that I don't think we got the 2-daily sell signal until more recently. In fact, the 2-daily sell signal hasn't even officially flashed. So we were operating off the daily sell signal, in which case we told you guys somewhere between 163 and we said low on 150, but I think we really leaned 160. So this one we messed up. We definitely did not predict down all the way to 148. That being said, if you had bought 160, as long as you didn't have a tight stop loss, you're good. I mean, that's a good entry right there. Massive pull back to the upside. How are we looking on the lower time frames? I do wonder. That's a bullish cross coming on the MACD. Lux Algo Oscillator. Ooh, I think we're going to count that as a buy signal. It's got to be within 14 candles. 8. We got it. Buy signal on the 4-hour chart. Love it. That's going to be good enough to get us into this range, back up towards $2. Not quite there, back at like 195 on the high end. I want to see that start to trickle. Let's get the 8-hour print and buy. We're very close to getting some positivity on that one, but that one could take a little bit more time, a little slower here. Look at that. Nice candle closing bounce off the 8-hour smart trail. The daily smart trail is holding up. This is very common. In case you guys are wondering why we keep looking at all these smart trails are significant levels of other support or resistance. If it's blue, think of it like an enhanced moving average. Instead of looking at the 200 or the 100 or others, this is like the most pertinent support level of a moving average on this timeline. And it changes per timeline. But if it's red, it's bearish. And all of a sudden it becomes a major level of resistance. But once it gets broken, all of a sudden you flip, like in this time period, back between October 8th and November 10th, we had major levels of resistance. We rejected. But once we broke back through it, we now have a strong support smart trail, and we have not broken that in quite a while. And I don't think we will. I think when you look at historically this part of the bull market, we don't really break these bullish smart trails and turn them bearish until later on in the bull market. So if you're wondering why does Tim keep referencing this, it's because it's one of those super powered Luxalgo moving average indicators that gives you amazing levels of support and resistance and understanding. As long as we stay above this level, we're bullish, and as long as we stay below this level, we're bearish. So that's where we are at the moment. Thank you for shouting out Ondo. Do love that one. It does look like we're making moves to the upside. Oh, well, I guess I didn't give you guys levels to keep an eye on to the upside. 4-hour chart. Let's break above 195. Let's get above $2 and get that 4-hour chart blue again, and we'll cook it with grease there for Ondo. So shout out to you guys. Let's do some giveaways here. Serious production for only 38,000 subscribers must be making bank on memberships. I don't know what constitutes bank. What I will say is we have done a very good job. Tshroom and I started this company 2 years ago, and we both had to work. We were spending money, not making any money, and we both worked side jobs until more recently. Tshroom got to go full time. Like March of this year? Tshroom?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. And I for me, about 2-3 months ago, I was able to finally leave my other jobs and do this full time. So what I'll say here, I don't know what constitutes serious bank. I am very grateful for the blessing that I want to first praise God for his blessing. I mean, I don't think anything happens in this planet without God understanding and intervening in how things happen. I want to be very clear. Obviously, I'm thankful to everybody that's in this community, all of you guys who give super chats and join memberships and sign up with Luxalgo links and sign up to trade Blofin and you encourage us and you bless us so that we can do this on a full-time level. Are we making bank? Again, I don't know what the definition of bank is, but I'm taking care of my family wholly from this business. Tshroom's taking care of his family wholly from this business. We have Crux, we have Smay. We're growing very quickly, but we also love to give back. And that's why we're transitioning now into some giveaways, because as we are blessed, we believe that God blesses us so that we can bless others as well. Yeah. And with that said, let's start off here. Let's start off with our giveaway for members. I want to give a shout out to members here. And this is a $50 giveaway, I do believe, for our Pro Bros and Ultimates members. Go ahead and bring up our wheel here, Smay. I think you should share Tshroom screen.
I've got it. Yeah, I've got it here. We've got two very important announcements right after this giveaway before we get to the next giveaway. But let's go ahead and get into some fun, bite into it here. This is for the Investing Bros Brolux membership giveaway. Here we go. Smay,
it's an early drum roll.
Oh, Hasmania again.
Hasmania. Listen, we can't rig this thing. Hasmania is just lucky like that.
Yeah. Now Hasmania has won again, and this shows the power of generosity, because Hasmania, as many of you will remember, was the one who got a sick Investing Bros decal on his Cybertruck. So he was generous enough to do that. And he's won now twice. So that's the key, is all you have to do is get a Cybertruck and put the Investing Bros logo on it, and you'll win these giveaways. Two important announcements here. If you go to my screen really quick, take a snapshot of this. Don't worry, we'll post it on Twitter. It'll be on YouTube and in our Discord. This is going to be our Christmas week schedule. As you'll see there, Tuesday and Wednesday are pretty much completely X'd off. We want to encourage you all to spend time with your loved ones, even if you're not someone who practices any kind of Christmas-related tradition. Spend time with your family. We will be active in the Discord, just kind of answering questions through chat as much as we can throughout the duration of next week. But take a screenshot of that, and Saturday we will have our 11 a.m. live stream. And the second announcement is Fundamental Friday is happening right after this stream, so go check it out in our Discord. Crux is going to be going deep into the fundamentals of crypto, and man, hopefully giving you guys some really good picks of what to buy right now. If you've got some extra liquidity, got a little bit extra dry powder, where should you deploy that? So there's a lot to get excited about there. More giveaways.
Yeah, more giveaways here. By the way, tomorrow Saturday show, because that talking about next Saturday, we will not have a Saturday show tomorrow with Tshroom moving and me preparing to New York, and Crux is in New York, and Smay's got some other things going on. I am going to be recording an Ethereum update tonight that will be going out tomorrow morning. We're gonna put it out at 9 a.m. instead of 11 a.m. But go watch that. If you wake up at 11, watch the Ethereum update. You're not going to want to miss it. Some cool things happening over there. But let's go ahead and choose the next giveaway we had to do. Let's do the Factoid giveaway, and then we'll do our month giveaway later. So I got to close my eyes. I got to scroll here. Find one lucky person to win $50. Oh, I'm going to close. Right, you see it? Closed completely.
No peeking.
It's going to be Tony Rosas. Tony Rosas. I don't know how he actually pronounces it. Tony Rosas. No, it says Rosas. Rosas.
Yeah, Tony's great. Tony's always making me laugh in the chat. He says some funny stuff. So Tony, here's how you can claim your winnings. Go into our Discord. It could be the general chat, which is the one that's for free. Smay, if you go to my screen really quick, this is how you can access the free Discord. Jump on in there. I will leave a chat here just at the very end of the stream. I'll say, hey, what's up, bros? Buy the dip. And that's the real Tshroom. Now, if a bunch of people say that exact thing, be careful. But there are imposters in the social media crypto world on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and in Discord as well. When you join our Discord, be careful. Nobody from the Investing Bros world will DM you first. If someone is DMing you first, it is the same as if you get a random DM or a text message or a scammer call on the phone. It is not really us. There's no secret investment thing. That's what they try to tell people. So be very careful. But what was his name? Tony Rosas. Go ahead and DM me and Tshroom in Discord, and we'll get cooking with grease.
Now, here's what I'm going to do. Those of you who are still here are going to be the only ones eligible for this month-long giveaway because of these super chats. The people that left, I'm sorry. You're not going to be eligible. I want you to go ahead right now. If you are in chat, spam all caps VIP. I'm going to give this a couple seconds so you guys can do that. Only people who comment VIP will be eligible to be randomly drawn for this. So ultimately, I'm going to close my eyes and do it, and then whatever I'm closest to, their name is going to be the one that gets there. While we're doing that, though, if you guys want to be a part of that VIP membership group, if you don't win, you can go and sign up for Lux Algo right now. Link down below. Why should you do it? You get 20% off VIP memberships. You get 20% off the Lux Algo indicators, the best indicators out there, the number one developers on all of TradingView, the best trading indicators that have trading strategies that we talk about all the time with over 90% win rates. You get all of that 20% off, and that's free access right there to get into the VIP trading group. But I do want to bless somebody out here today with free access for 1 whole month into our VIP trading group. With that said, all right, they're spamming, but I'm going to start scrolling. Keep spamming because you never know who I'm going to choose. But I'm closing my eyes, Tshroom. I'm closing my eyes. I'm not
keep
them
closed.
We're going to go with this now. Leslie Herbert. Leslie Herbert is the winner of a free month of VIP trading group.
Cool. Yeah.
Now,
wow.
That's a familiar name. Leslie, because you're still in chat, clearly, because you just get your... Leslie, are you already in the trading group? So we just giving you a free month? They're giving you a refund for a month? Is that what we're doing here? I feel like I've seen Leslie in the group. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Leslie, comment. Tell us if I'm right or wrong there.
Regardless, getting a free month of membership.
Yeah, we'll give you a refund. I mean, I think we'll have to just send. If she is a member, we'll just have to send her the cash equivalents, like the tether equivalents of her 1 month membership, because I think it might be a little too messy for Crux to actually go in there and give her a free month. Listen, hey, we're gonna start doing this a lot more. I don't know if we're gonna do this every day, but we're gonna start doing more of these super chat giveaways. If you guys get the super chats up, we effectively, just so you guys know, like $50 super chats, $5, $5 super chats. That's what it costs to get in. So ultimately, it's going to be the same equivalents. Maybe we'll even do things like if we get 20, we'll give 2 away. But shout out to Leslie. Not in the group, she says. Okay, so Leslie, that's awesome.
Cool.
Go ahead and join. Be a part of the group. Make sure you reach out. Go join our Discord. reach out to Tshroom or myself. This one I can help you with.
Yep.
And we will get you signed up for a month-long membership over in our VIP trading group.
And I just put a message in there. I said, buy the dip. I've got a good ending off the show thought, but if you had one queued up, you can go for it.
I had one too, but yeah, we double. We're in double up here. In fact, before you go, Smay, we might triple up. Smay, let's get a closing thought from Smay, then from Tshroom, and then I'll close this out.
Oh my gosh, guys. This is such a moment of honor, and I'm just so excited. So my closing thought is that I did in fact win, because it's at 542 likes, and we're about to end. So that means I won the hat 3 times, basically.
You
did. 3 different times.
We'll send you 3 hats.
This is so exciting, guys. And that's just what I want to say. At the end of the day, my closing thought is always make your bed, okay? In the morning, make your bed like this one behind you that you see right here. Beautifully made bed. I do it every morning. Always make your bed. Why? Because they say so, that you should. Because it makes maybe you a better trader or something. So always make your bed. And I would even say, I would go further. If you ever appear on a live stream in front of 1,000+ people, you should have it in your background that proves that you're the kind of trader that makes your bed every day. Now, back to you guys.
Like us. Like Tim and Tshroom always have. All right. My word of advice is you might be sitting there and you've gotten into crypto or Bitcoin you bought in the last 3-4 months, right? And you may even be down right now. And you're seeing, a lot of other folks who are, making a lot of money, whether they're trading or investing, and you're feeling down. What can you do about it? What can you do? Because if you don't have any dry powder, you don't have any extra money to deploy and buy at these levels, what can you do right now? What you can do is make a watch list. Make a watch list of all the coins that are showing strength during this period of volatility. The biggest one that comes to mind is Sui. Sui is showing immense strength, finding a support level and popping right back up. It's the only one that I think I've seen in double digits of positive movement today. But look at other coins that you were thinking about buying, and if you don't have the money to deploy into them, make a little list of all the ones that are showing strength during this period of volatility. A watch list is an excellent thing to do right now that you can deploy your time and energy into, and try to come back stronger as the bull market continues here into 2025.
Absolutely. That's some great financial wisdom there, Tshroom. I'm going to close out with more of a thought. I'm not going to be with you guys. Next time you see me on the live show, it's going to be the very end of December, right? We're going to be past Christmas, going into New Year's. But I wanted to wish everybody here a Merry Christmas. Tshroom will be live on Monday. He'll do it again. But I wanted to wish you from me and my family a Merry Christmas. And I want to say here, so whether you're religious or not, the history of Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Jesus. We love celebrating Santa Claus. We love presents under the tree. We love all this stuff. But even the roots of those practices, the things that have become more secular, giving these presents and Santa Claus, it all comes back to the concept of Jesus coming to earth and the concept that God gave his only son as a gift to every single one of us, that despite all of our issues, despite of our sin, despite the fact that no matter how hard we try to be good humans, we still find ways to fall short on the daily basis. I can't speak for everybody, but I know even me, as hard as I try to be good, it seems like every single day I do something to fail my family, to fail God, to fail others. And I'm so glad to have the present, the gift that is Jesus, the one who came and gave his life for me that I could have eternal life. Whether you believe in that or not, that's what we're celebrating. What's my overall thought here? First of all, if you have questions about Jesus, please feel free to reach out. I would love to have phone conversation. If any of you reached out to me and said, Tim, I want to know more about Jesus, I will drop everything I'm doing and we will jump on a phone call and we're going to talk more, because that's the end all be all of why I'm even doing what I'm doing here. But my other encouragement for those of you, maybe you're sitting here thinking, well, I'm not religious. Thank you for those thoughts, Tim, but I'm good without it. I want to encourage you to take the principles here of giving. And there's that conversation, that sentence that says that it's better to give than to receive. The Bible talks about that several times. But I want to encourage you guys in this holiday season to also know how to receive, right? A lot of people actually have developed skills of being very good givers, but terrible receivers. And I know I'm dragging on here, but I want to tell a quick story that my dad taught me when I was little. And when my dad was telling me a story about him and his father-in-law, and he had bought a house with my mom, his new wife. He bought a house, and it had a lot of fixing up he had to get done. And his father-in-law, my mom's dad, asked, can I come over and help you with your house? Well, my dad's a do-it-all guy. He didn't want to seem weak. He has this new father-in-law. He wants to impress him. And he thought the wise thing to do would be to say, no, I can do this myself. I'll take care of my family. I don't need your help. Thank you, but no thank you. And he told me how that separated him and his father-in-law for the rest of the time my grandfather was alive. Because the blessing of giving is greater than the blessing of receiving. And for some of you out there, you need to allow people to bless you. The same way as a Christian, I've allowed Jesus to bless me. There's nothing I could do to save myself. I have to receive the blessing from Jesus. Same thing out there for you guys. There's going to be someone out there that tries to do something for you. Receive your blessing with honor and grace, because it's actually, just so you know, when someone gives you something, it can bless them more than it blesses you. Want to encourage you guys with that. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you in a week and a half. Adios.